she came home.
Carlyle's lost an empire. You fall hard enough, you tend to be reminded of what truly matters. So, the end of the line. You ready for this?
Are you? Who will you be, without a score to settle?
I guess the world's most wanted fugitive will have to do.
Alexa Carlyle is dead. According to the funeral invitation, that is. So naturally, it caused quite a stir when the late matriarch turned up at the breakfast table, alive and kicking. Carlyle, wisely sensing that her number is up, has emerged from exile to tie up loose ends and secure the Carlyle legacy. She may be a monster, but you have to admire her due diligence. Carlyle descends from an ancient line of warrior aristocrats. Her great-grandfather made a killing in the Second Opium War and established an empire in shipping, railroads, and newspaper publishing. While largely unknown to the public, the family still asserts its quiet dominance over global transport and logistics, media, and technology. Most senior of the partners, Alexa Carlyle, is cold as ice, tough as nails, and sharp as a razor. Incidentally, it was her late father who first brought the three families together after the end of World War II at this very house, meaning that this gentleman is the birthplace of Providence.
It began here, and it ends here. Talk about poetic.
One more thing. According to our intel, Carlyle keeps a case file on the Constant. Information that may be helpful in his recapture, so don't leave the estate without it.
Right. Happy hunting, 47. See you on the other side.
Thornbridge Manor. The Carlyle family's home for countless generations. The Revenant Alexa Carlyle and her 3 adult children, younger brother Zachary, grandson and daughter-in-law, are all gathered to conduct Carlyle's sham funeral. Curiously, Carlyle summoned a famous London PI soon after arriving this morning, but his purpose at Thornbridge is yet unclear. Now, the target knows that you're coming, and her guard detail is top-notch. So Mr. Gray will secure their nearby field HQ and intercept all calls going in and out of the estate. Any appeal for backup is going to fall on very deaf ears. Good luck, gentlemen.
Arriving to Dartmoor, to a mission extremely... Yes, that's a great British mansion house. Looks something like even Count Dracula would be scared of it, scared of that place's depraved history. And there's there's private investigator, all kinds of relatives and all, and that kind of in this kind of isolated location, big rich family. So yeah, it's very clear how this mission was planned to be done by you, by something like you are to snatch the job of the private investigator, investigate the murder or case of death, more like, and then present your knowledge to the person around here and murder them after you have presented your case, after gathering all the experimentation. And that means that this is, I'd say that this is one of the, maybe the best designed mission of this in the so far. At least it was, in a sense, it's much more interesting in comparison to the first mission. But it's the problem that, and they also wrote a couple of, you don't want to play a detective in this level. All right, we just arranged you a couple of other situations to do it. But it's clear that they wanted this to be a Agatha Christie murder what was it? Chamber murder mystery. That, yeah, who did it? All kinds of, all suspects are there. One detective doing all the research, and no any kind of, you could say, real police called around, because hey, who knows? It doesn't happen in this genre. Although, at least in.
Rosie thinks she's in love with young Patrick. I
later interpretation about, for example, Sherlock Holmes stories is that Lestrade, Inspector Lestrade of the Scotland Yard, who appears to be, you could say, inept, is actually not at all inept, because 9 times out of 10 crooks he's hunting, he's gonna catch them. But it's the 10th time when somebody more clever investigator is needed, someone like Sherlock Holmes. So, but my method is not to be a detective. My method is to be much more simplistic. But first giving a bit of a grand tour about this whole location. It's quite grand. There's garden house, real creepy looking moor, a big watery lake with some modern wind turbines to make it, placed at the time. There's even ravens skirting about. Yeah, this is a complete horror show location with a equally dour and grim weather. Oh yeah. This is a murder mystery stage.
Madam Carlyle wants to inspect the arrangements for the staged funeral tomorrow. What's the delay?
And why in hell?
They're making a racket, drop things everywhere. The undertaker wants them gone before he can see Madam Carlyle. It's in a right state. So unless you want to take on the birds, I suggest you stay clear of him.
Oh, no, my aim's horrible. Safer for everyone if I just wait here till he says he's ready for Madam.
Oh.
Madam Carlyle is still going ahead with her.
And yeah, just to make sure, yes, I did play through this once before, just to make sure, just to get through, become more familiar with the location and all the quirks it has in it. And I'd say that this location has quite lots of quirks, and if the idea of Carlyle is to be extremely secretive about her staged death, she's not being very good about it. There's bogus funeral, which she's coordinating, all kinds of characters around here. So yeah, it would be blown out very fast, even without any sort of science fiction agencies searching for their knowledges. And of course, this being this kind of stage with plenty of extra actions, but there's a big emphasis on the detective work or plot line. The other stage, there's lots of stages for interaction, but it's not so much humorous. Well, there's the Undertaker, very dour looking man, but he's still using a smartphone, so bit of, you could say, setting and characters are you could say in that sense anachronistic. But I have to become the Undertaker, not the pro wrestler kind, just a Undertaker.
Can you go and see what on earth that was, please?
No problem.
Oh yeah, you go. Oh, there was nothing there. Just a, buried Undertaker. Give me your clothes. Now, a new undertaking business has started. Undertaking 47s. 47 different ways to make sure that corpses remain corpses. Are corpses. And are handled like corpses. And this part, you could say it's a bit of a annoyance because, well, of course somebody shooting off raven nests with a silenced pistol is quite suspicious instead of them using a shotgun, which would be plausible weapon. So yeah, you have to do that from the hiding place. And of course, not only do I have to murder one person, of which of course you could just waltz in and shoot her head off, there's also the need to find the documents.
I am ready to show Madam Carlyle the funeral arrangements.
You got rid of the birds?
Yes.
Perfect. I'll let her know.
And he looks 47 looks very classy in this top hat of his. Oh, and he's got a car keys. Hers. Somehow feels appropriate vehicle. And now she's coming there. Takes a little bit while for me to wait, which is quite annoying. But, well, anyways, time to do a little bit of cut of waiting.
Carlisle is on her way. I wonder how she will like her final resting ground.
Well, there she is.
Mr. Parsons, I don't like to be kept waiting. I trust we can be efficient now I'm here.
I can be very efficient, Madam Carlyle.
Alright, well, how in...
Picture of me doing here. What an awful idea. I want it removed before the ceremony tomorrow. I must say I don't care much for the choice of flowers either. I need a moment to consider what I want.
Goddamn finicky old hag.
What's that podium?
Well, that's for those who are gonna hold the speech about your corpses, about your burial.
I find that having family members do the eulogy is more often than not a toe-cringing affair. I've never understood the need to publicly display grief. A person died. Most natural thing in the world. No need to make an emotional spectacle of it.
Well, she's quite
I
harsh.
hope you haven't planned for one of those.
Well, now of course I could now just go and hack her head off.
And the gravestone. Granite. Solid. No fuss. I like it. Well done, Mr. Parsons. I approve.
Well, at least something went right.
Yes, it will mark your grave beautifully.
So, to sum up, I expect you to remove my picture from the memorial. That was an absolutely horrendous idea. Very unfit for these historical surroundings.
There you go.
That's Madame Carlyle taken care of.
There's
Time
your
to get a
grave.
file on
I hope you
Arthur
like it.
Edwards.
And here at 47 Undertakings, we deliver the whole package. Not only we arrange the corpses, we also fill the graves.
Where's Madame Carlyle?
Well, where do you think she is? She's in her grave.
She needed a rest.
And you are also taking a rest after a strike to the head with a shovel, but you are lucky. Yep. Well, seeing that 47 just smacked her to the head with a shovel, or better say gave her a good kick, it might be plausible that she was quite alive when Agent 47 buried her. But no, I would have to go and find the documents, which of course you could say the plausible location would be in her personal private quarters, and to get there I needed the personal bodyguard outfit, but there's plenty of other characters.
Rebecca? Yes. She's insistent, that one. She kept asking all kinds of questions. Who had the other one? Why I gave it to her, that sort of thing. You did make sure she didn't see you give the other one to the butler? Of course.
So yeah, so there's either two tokens. One on Butler, of course, because Butler always does it. Butler's always the murderer. Actually, I don't think Butler actually usually is in this kind of crime fiction a murderer. He's definitely a suspect and most likely a somehow sleazy character, but quite unlikely he's murderer. It's usually some sort of relative or something. But in this case, of course, with 47 being an investigator, he can just ramble all kinds of stories that it was the family dog which actually possessed the body of a large piece of plant, and then went to murder people with that way. And of course there's also a family lawyer noticing that hey, all the money the family had is gone because the constant of Providence that which she was a leader and one of the founders decided that he wants to snag all the money to himself. But generally I'd say that this is you could say level great in its only designed method of playing, but in other forms it's, I'd call it quite lackluster. Just one target to kill. Location is, well, it's very credible, but it's still just a quite regular stage in that sense. And I don't want you to be snooping around while I'm here. So you're gonna spend your time in a box. But there's her big desk. Beautiful, fancy leather chair. Most likely not so comfortable, not so good work chair, but still fancy chair. Press it. And a wall safe.
Peculiar icons above the safe. I wonder if they might be some sort of a code. Maybe have a look around the office, 47.
Yes, there's items, there's codes about, let's see, there's a clock, telescope, fire, and moose. So let's just see these items. They are hints, of course, because of course there has to be a hint. Yeah, there's a clock.
A safe in Madame Carlyle's office. I bet that's where she keeps the file on Arthur Edwards.
And there's a fireplace. Oh yes, there's the fireplace. There it has a number 7. There's a clock. Oh yeah, this is really nice set. In a sense of gameplay wise, but I'm skipping ahead of all the searching all the hints, which is to say that all these had an item, like for example the fireplace had number 7, so third number is 7, and that kind, and so on and so on and so on. Now I did check, and were they only on this room, or was it, or are they much more of a, you could say, much more scattered around the actual manor? Actually, at least 2 of them are. 9 for the telescope. Yep, they are completely understandable hints in that sense. But with a bit of skip ahead, I already know the code. Which is 1975. That must be something like birth year of her first child or something. And take the documents. I have everything I needed.
Mission complete. Well done, 47.
And I'm just walking away. Oh yeah, the idea to skip the Madame Carlyle's actual survival after being announced dead is not working so well, but at least everybody who you could say is plausibly aware of the secret is in controlled group of these employees and family members, so security is quite certain. Not foolproof, because there's always a chance to somebody being.
I'm not really sure I've seen you before.
Well, fuck you, Butler. Fuck you, Butler. Do you want to get a fist in your face? Made a bit mistake in the last, because hey, Butler saw me, but it doesn't matter. Butler's always the suspect. And there's the hearse. So of course I'm gonna steal it. Oh yeah, murder mystery not solved, and a new one made.